everybody. Thank you guys for joining me today on our Lunch and Learn episode 17. I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late for those joining us live. It's some construction in my house and I had to give some instructions to the guys that were here, so I apologize. I am very, very excited to be on here today. I'm going to wait a few seconds, get my hair out of my face so I don't play with it for you. All right, well today we're going to talk about episode 17 is going to be all about the art of storytelling. Woo! So excited. You are literally going to learn how to story tell your way to the top. This is an industry about stories, and stories is what sell people. And there's a lot of reasons why, so we'll talk about those. But let's just start by saying, you know, if somebody hears your story, they can be, you know, greatly inspired. But if they can see themselves in the story, they will be changed. And I think a couple foundational principles that we're going to give to you today will show you how to not only tell your story, but to pull out the best story in others. And I'm going to grab my notes here from the boss of the industry, Eric Worre, had some great information on the art of storytelling. So I'm going to tell my story really quick because I want you guys to see the format that I'm using. So when I get on a call or, you know, like a conference call or a stage or something and I'm asked to present, it's always good for the audience to know, who are they talking to, right? Who are you? Why should I care? And can I do this? That is what your audience is thinking, whether you're sitting on a one-on-one, you're on a three-way call, you're on a conference call, you're in a living room, you're in a hotel, you're speaking in front of a stage. People are thinking, who are you? Why should I care? And can I do this? So I say, hi, my name is Tara Wilson. I got involved in the industry 9.5 years ago. At the time, I was a full-time wholesale mortgage rep working 40 hours a week with two small kids that were 11 months and 7 at the time. Now, the good news is I had a great job. You know, I made a 6-figure income and so did my husband. So this is not a rags to riches story. I tell that to people right off the bat. I said, but what I didn't have is time, because every morning I would get up to an alarm clock. I would rush to get my kids ready for school, pack their lunches, pack my daughter's diaper bag, and I would zoom off to get them to their nanny and their school and in a rush every morning. I was gone for 9 hours. Then I would scoop them up after work. And then, of course, it's dinner time, homework time, bath time, bedtime, and I would collapse on the couch about 9 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening and, you know, maybe watch a little TV, pay some bills, and then go to bed and do it all over again, right? And what's crazy is that we just accept that. We accept that that is normal, right? That's the American dream. That's what everybody else is doing. That's what our friends are doing. That's what our family's doing. So we never question it because it's normal, right? It seemed normal. But every single day when I dropped my kids off, I was really sad. I hated missing everything. I hated that my nanny was the first one to tell me that she saw my daughter's first steps, not me. You know, I hated that I was rushing into Starbucks. Let me get some more light here. This is horrible light. I was rushing into Starbucks, grabbing a coffee with my suit on the way to a meeting at 10 o'clock. While all these moms in their yoga pants were just hanging out, having coffee at their leisure. They got to volunteer in the class. And so, you know, when I saw this industry, it wasn't just about, you know, selling a product or personal development or making money. It was about finding a way where I could have the best of both worlds, where I could be a mom and I could be a working woman, because I don't mind hard work. I've always had a great work ethic. Work does not bother me. But I thought, gosh, if I could even make half of what I made, you know, in my full-time job, that would be enough. Because honestly, I would have given up half of my salary to be home with my kids more. So when I found this industry, I was wowed by it. And of course, I saw very soon an industry where people were helping people get healthy through their products. Sorry about that. Whoop, fell down. And, you know, helping people also become entrepreneurs. Saying my connection's weak. I'm really worried about that. Darn it. I should have turned off my cellular service. I mean, I should have turned off my Wi-Fi before I started this. Darn it. Anyway, we'll be fine. But I started in the industry I failed miserably, and that's the honest to God truth. I failed really, really bad for probably the first 3 months. I was losing money, but I just kept going because I saw other people that had success. And so how many people do you think right off the bat related to my story, right? How many moms and dads out there are thinking, well, what if there was a better way for me? You know, what if I could replace my 6-figure income, or even my $50,000 a year job, or my $75,000 a year job, or whatever it is, and be home with my kids? What if I didn't have to work full time? What if I, could bring my spouse home from work? Because after 5 years in the industry, so I replaced a 6-figure income in 8 months, and then quit my job, and I've never gone back to work for somebody else since October of 2007. And then 5 years into the industry, I was actually able to retire my husband, who now is the owner of his own business, traditional business. And we both have a life that we've created, and we get to do things like coach teams and, travel when we want to, be in the kids' classrooms. And it's so much better having options. So think about how many parents would love options, right? Just because it's normal doesn't mean you have to work 40 hours a week for 40. Now, if you love what you do, I have friends that are doctors, and they work for hospitals. They don't have their own practice, and they love it. They love practicing medicine. That was their lifelong dream. They're fine. They're happy. Although medicine's changing, so that's a whole nother talk show. So what are the 4 components of your story? And I'm going to tell you what the 4 components are, and I'm going to tell you how that goes. And then I'm going to tell you the number 1 mistake people made. And I did learn this from a good friend, Eric Worre, network marketing pro. He's awesome. He's been in the industry for decades, and I have had the chance to learn from him many, many times. And I always recommend, if you can get to his events, absolutely do. He has a huge event coming up in December. And Tony Robbins and Richard Branson will both be there. So talk about a great freaking event. All right. So, all right. Where's this thing? Sorry, guys. I'm looking through my notes here. I've seen him so many times. It's like I have pages of notes from him, so I have to find that. So your story is your background. The first component is number 1, your background. Number 2, what you didn't like about it. Number 3, the solution you found. And number 4, how you feel about the future. So my background was wholesale mortgage, working 40 hours a week. What I didn't like about it is I never saw my kids. My quality of life was, very crazy and hectic. What I found was the industry of network marketing, where I could, build part-time until I was able to replace my income. And how I feel about the future is I just got involved, in a company a year ago, and yada, yada, yada. Of course, I don't share my company info on these trainings. And so, let's just say, if you guys have watched my episodes in the past, you'll know I call it the widget company. So you can just say, hey, my name's Tara. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and whatever your story is. What I hate about it is, there's always too much month at the end of the money. We're always tight on money. Bills are piling up. My husband's working 2 jobs to support us, and I just want to help out. I found this industry of network marketing. I joined this widget company, and this is why I'm excited. See, what happens is a lot of people forget that the most important thing they can do with their friend, their family, remember, you're going to call 100 people, hopefully 20 to 50 of them you know really well personally. And a lot of people forget to tell their story. And then this is what it sounds like. So remember, it goes background, what you didn't like about it, the solution you found, and how you feel about the future. Well, most people just go like this. Hey, I found this industry called network marketing, and I joined the widget company, and this is what the widget company does. And all of a sudden, you're not telling a story that your mom or your sister or your best friend or your brother could be like, wow, that's exciting. Well, maybe I should support you, right? Because it's about you. All of a sudden, it goes from being about you to this saying, hey, I found a widget company, and I'm excited because this widget company is going to do X, Y, Z. And they didn't hear your story, so all you're doing is selling. So number 1, that's why you're uncomfortable, is because you're not telling your story. You're just going straight for the jugular, right? That's uncomfortable. Try it. Try to tell your spouse or, one of your business partners your story. Call them and say, here's my story. And then take the first 2 parts out. And all of a sudden, it feels awkward. And you feel like you're in sales mode, because you are. You're telling them straight about the widget company. and you're not even giving them any idea of who you are and why you're doing this. I'll tell you, people don't care what you do, they care why you do it. A friend or a family member, especially, is so much more likely to support you because of your story. So you need to tell them why you're doing this. You need to tell them the debt you want to pay off, the vacation you want to take, the college you want to save for, the retirement you want to have, the lives you want to change. Because if everyone goes straight for the sell, and then people feel weird, and you feel weird because you're selling your best friend, and they feel weird because they're being sold. So a lot of people say, well, it's easy for you because your story is amazing. Sure, it is. I've made a lot of money, and I've helped a lot of people, and I've built teams of hundreds of thousands in 12 countries. But what I want to tell you is, remember that time that I had no story? There was a day that I was brand new in network marketing. There was a day that I had zero success. There was a day that I had zero knowledge. There's a day that I knew nothing about binaries and U levels and matrices and comp plans. There was a day I knew nothing about health and wellness, which is what I've always been in. There was a day that I've never, ever, ever sold any products to my friends. There was a day that I never was a business owner or entrepreneur. There was that day, right? So what I did in the beginning is I incorporated somebody else's story. So I would say, hey, you know what? I've been working full time. I hate being away from my kids. I saw this lady and she's making, $300,000 a year after 10 months selling this health product. And I don't know how she does it, but I'm going to figure it out because that sounds awesome. You want to come look at it with me? Sure. And then we would go. And when we'd hear her story. And then my story would adapt. And it was going from telling someone else's story, right? Because there's always someone that's had success. So point to someone else that has success. Hey, this person, this person, this person. Plus it takes all the pressure off of you that you don't have to be great yet because you have no idea what you're doing. But there's other people that are great and you can connect them with the great people so that they want to be great at this, they can be great at this. So keep telling that. And then after 4 or 5 months when I was making money, I was like, there's this company with this health product. This lady over here is making this money. This lady over here making money. I'm only making $500 a month, but I'll tell you, I didn't know I would ever make $50 a month. And this is pretty exciting. Do you want to take a look? My story evolved. Then it was, I'm making $1,000 a month. Then it was, I was making $2,000 a month. Then it was making $6,000 a month. Then it was, I just quit my job to do this full time. Then it was, I just replaced a 6-figure income. Then it was, okay, now I'm making but I got there to those different pillars and I got there, I kept going up in income because I kept telling stories. Another important thing is match the story with your prospect. I am always open and available to my team. I think it's important as a leader to always, be connected. But sometimes my story is not the story to tell the new person. If you got a stay-at-home mom that has never made $1,000 a month in any job, who's never done direct sales, who's looking to make $300 a month so that her husband will be off her back because she wants to get manicures and get her hair done, whatever it is, you don't need to put her on the phone with your upline that makes $10,000 a month. You don't need her. They don't need to be on the phone with a super intergalactic global ranks. They just don't. You don't need to put them on the phone with a millionaire. Why? Well, number one, it's probably going to be way too intimidating because even if I tell my story like really humbly, it still is going to be intimidating to a stay-at-home mom that's never made money and has certainly never made network marketing money. So find someone on your team that says, you know what? I know a mom just like you, and now after a year, she's making $1,000 a month. Let me get her to tell your story. Let me get her to tell her story to you, because when you tell someone a story, they're inspired, but when they can see themselves in a story, they're changed. Now, stories are great because they evoke emotion. They paint a really clear picture in your mind. So, some of you guys, when I was saying the story, could see me running into Starbucks, grabbing coffee, looking over and seeing that table of Lululemon moms, right? Some of you could see that. Some of you have lived that, right? So remember, stories are a way to evoke emotion. Stories are a way to get the person who you're talking to emotionally connected, and it paints a picture in their mind which they remember better than facts and figures. Facts tell, stories sell. Now, is it important to have some facts and figures available? Yes, because there are personality types that love to have all of the information. They love to have, all of the facts and figures. But remember that take into consideration who you're talking to, who's your prospect, and match them up with someone. That's true also on the customer side. I like to just default to weight loss, or we can do jewelry, whatever. Whatever it is, the widget. Hey, I have a friend that's just like you, and they use this service or this widget, and they had this results, right? Because you can tell feature benefit. I learned this when I was in sales, and I used to work for Restoration Hardware for $10 an hour, like 10 years ago. And I remember that the reps would come in and they would talk about the dovetailing or, whatever on the furniture. And that was the feature. And the benefit was that it created a sturdier base, right? The feature of the leather was that it was dyed all the way through. That was a feature. The benefit was if you scratched it, you could polish it out, right? So there's always features and benefits. And so I think a lot of people in network marketing talk about feature, and they haven't talked about benefits. And also, they haven't talked about the big vision. So let's say you have somebody that wants to lose weight. A lot of people know how to lose weight. It's not rocket science. It's a proven fact. If you put more in this mouth than you need, you're going to gain weight. Like, I don't care how many programs or whatever, products or pills or powders or whatever come out. We all know how to lose weight. Everybody intuitively knows how to eat better. They know that sugar's bad. They know that alcohol's bad. They know that carbs are bad. They know that bread is going to not be great for most people, that too much bread, too much pasta, They know that processed foods aren't healthy. They know that McDonald's isn't healthy. They know that a salad's better than a hamburger. Everybody knows, right? But then if everyone knows, why is 93 million Americans obese? You got to think about that, because they haven't made a decision to overcome the addiction. So, and this is, you can go on many, many ways with this. And this is just an example is, hey, I know someone just like you, and they were 100 pounds overweight. And let me tell you the story about what they did. And then tell a story. But not only that, ask them to tell you their story of what it would be like if they did lose that 100 pounds. Say, let's talk about, what does obesity mean to you, right? What does being unhealthy mean to you? What does being poor mean to you? What does being in debt mean to you? Like, it doesn't matter if you're talking to them about being a customer or being a distributor. What does being unhealthy mean to you? What does it mean to you that you have so much debt? What does it mean to you that you're struggling every month? Because when they can make a conscious decision to want to change that, that's when they'll make a change. So if you say you want to lose 100 pounds, how many programs have you used? 50, right? And all of them probably worked for somebody, but not you. Why? Talk about what would it be like for your relationship, for your self-esteem, for your health, for the inspiration that you would be like. Really get them talking about putting themselves in the future as if they already have that situation, right? When you're sharing your business opportunity, it's not enough to say, you can make money, you can make money, you can make money, you can make money. What would it be like right now, 5 years from now, if you had this much amount of income, if you had no debt, if you owned a home? Like, get them thinking about it. Because if they can create it in their mind, your brain, I've talked about this on many, many of the episodes, your brain doesn't know the difference between fiction and reality. So get people creating their new reality. Get them thinking about what would it be like. And then when they get on the journey, you got to keep reminding them, hey, don't quit. Don't quit, because remember, this is what it's going to be like. This is how you're going to feel. This is how you're going to look. This is how you're going to impact, and you got to know that they have to see themselves being in the story at somewhat of success. They have to see themselves losing the first pound. They have to see themselves losing the first 5 pounds. An entrepreneur has to see themselves making the first dollar. Every time you get somebody a check in network marketing, they say it extends their belief for anywhere between another 60 to 90 days. Every time they get a check or an email saying you've made money, their belief again is, oh my gosh, if I can make 50, I can make 50,000. So you want to always tell your story from the start. Every time you call somebody, hey mom, I just started a business, because as you know, I'm working like crazy. I never see my kids, and we're in debt up to our ears, and I found a way, that might be a solution, and I'm very excited because I'm working with a team of people that are going to help me share this product and these services and have success. And I'm really hopeful that this will be the solution to my problem. Hey, I'm having a call on Thursday night, or I'm having a meeting at my house Thursday night. I would love for you just to come hear what I'm doing. And because now mom's thinking, what if I can refer someone to my daughter, right? What if my friend's thinking, what if I could refer somebody to my friend? Because then when you tell your story, it's not about them. It's about you. It's about saying, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. I love these products. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to change my situation. But what happens if you don't tell your story? It goes to, hey, I'm selling this and you need to buy it because I want to make money. And that's all they hear. So if you don't tell your story during the invitation process, you are going to be in selling mode. You're going to be uncomfortable. They're going to be uncomfortable. And your success rate of getting people on your calls or your webinars or your hotel or your living room is going to be really low, because now it's like, oh no, they're selling something and they need me to buy it. So start by telling your story. Tell other people's story. When you find somebody that has a story, have a whole arsenal. Like I'm a collector of stories. I am. Every time I meet somebody at an event, I'm intentional about asking anywhere from 25 to 30 people. Every time I'm in an elevator, I say, hey, you've been with the company for, oh, look, you're this rank. How long have you been in the company? 3 years. What do you love best about this company? What has the products done for you? What does being that rank do for you? What does it mean to your family, right? I am always asking people their story, so that every time I have a prospect, I have literally like a tool bag full of stories, and I can say, I met someone just like you. They were a struggling personal trainer. They could barely make bills, meet, and they started selling this on the side and doubled their income. Or, I knew a dad working full-time just like you, and he started a business. Now he, after 6 months, he got down to one job, and after 2 years, he was able to do this full-time. Like, story. Because remember, your job is not to get the horse to water. Getting the horse to water is info. My video, my presentation, my information, what I'm selling, my product, my service, my opportunity. Your job is not to get the horse to water. Your job is to make the horse so thirsty it is begging you for the water. And that's how you get the horse thirsty, is by telling your story and finding out what their story is. What their story is, joining you as your customer or your business partner can do for them. And when people see, here's the golden nugget. It says my connections week. Anyway, hopefully you guys are seeing this. When people can see that the problem they already have, whether it's financial, health, self-esteem, whatever, that the problem they already have before they knew what you were doing, but the problem they already have, and what you are doing is a solution for the problem that they already have. When they see it, not when you shove it at them, when they see it, they truly close themselves. I don't have to close somebody if I do my job asking what they want, why they're looking, what this would mean for their life, what their goals are, what they're willing to do, and I tell them, well, this is based on what you are looking for. This is what we have. When they see the connection, they say yes. So do your job painting the vision by telling stories, and I promise you the road to the top is paved with great stories. Learn them, know them, craft yours, and be able to tell it in under 2 minutes. And every single time you get in front of somebody, whether it's an invitation to a call, a three-way call, standing in front of your living room, you tell that story. I've told my story so many times, like I'm already bored of it. But there's nothing sexy about network marketing. You're going to have to master the mundane. I've been doing the same things every day, all day for 9.5 years. But you know what? It sure beats sitting in a cubicle all day, every day that I would have been for the last 9.5 years. And so we have a better way, right? Working for someone else is hard. Going out of your comfort zone is hard. Choose your hard. So tell your story, tell your story, tell your story, and teach your team how to tell their story. And I promise you, you guys will be sky's the limit. So thank you guys. I am off to a meeting with a new prospect to tell my story. See you tomorrow.